Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the most anticipated and equally most dreaded race of the season here in the Midwest Esports League. It's the Midnight Monaco Grand Prix here in Season 9. 19 corners make up this tight and tricky 3.3-kilometer street circuit that stretches almost the entire country. And with only one DRS zone, qualifying is going to mean everything, especially in the wet conditions during that session. Hotspot with you on the call this week in Division 3. Interesting turn of events we have this time round. It's a wet qualifying session. Now, we had that last time out in Imola, which was quite fun to watch, it had to be said, as it went from the wet to very wet. Now, I believe the level of wet that we're going to have here in the beginning is going to be intermediate tires, okay? So we're not going to be seeing DRS. We may see one heap of mistakes, and we might also see, just perhaps, an unusual face on pole position. It very well could happen, which is obviously one of the great things about Monaco here. Once again, wet qualifying session. We're going to have a dry race. Should be clear skies for the most part. 17 on the grid. Should be a fun one to watch here. In the streets here in Monaco. Who's going to be first out on track? Very interesting qualifying session this, because typically when we have situations like this, we have it to where you might put on the race setup, like a dry race setup in the qualifying session for a wet race, because you want the speed, you want the positioning. We may see drivers put the wet setup on for qualifying for a dry race, because qualifying means literally everything at this track. You're barely going to be able to overtake. So, yeah, it's a very interesting thing to see. Do we have drivers take the risk, perhaps put on, a setup that's going to be slightly slower here? It's going to be good for the qualifying session here. It might be slightly slower for the race, in hopes that, obviously it's Monaco. You're probably not going to get overtaken that easily. It's a very interesting question, this. I'm quite excited to see what happens here. We've got Brian Mosser in the Mercedes, first out on track as he makes his way down in towards the hairpin. We've got only 2, 4, 5 other drivers, now 6 other drivers, and now 7 other drivers making their way on track. I mean, it's a bit tricky, this. You want to get out now while there's no traffic ahead of you, and I think that's what Brian's probably looked at here, is the less traffic the better, because there just simply isn't that many places to get away from those who are on hot laps. So I think that's what Brian Mosser's recognized. He wants to be the one in clean air with no traffic. And maybe perhaps can he put down a very good lap here early. That, I would assume, is going to be his game plan. You don't really want to have to wait until, 5 minutes to go to give it your all, because everybody else is going to be on track. Brian Mosser now exiting Anthony Nogues, the final corner here at Monaco. Let's go along with him for our first timed lap of the day in towards Saint-Devat. No heroics into Saint-Devat unless it's qualifying. The faster you take that one, the better. Up the hill through Beau Rivage. Believe it or not, some overtakes do happen here. We've seen it before. Into Massenet now. This corner gets a little bit tricky in the race because oversteer on exit, and then you got to wind it back down through the casino corner. Mind the tree stump there on your way down into... I don't know how to pronounce that, to be honest. Back down the hill now into the hairpin. Very crucially, you get that one right. Sometimes you could take the corner a little bit and push, 2 out wide and stick it in the barriers. Exiting Portier now. Good acceleration is going to be key there. Down through the tunnel. Looks could be deceiving. It's actually a pretty tricky one to get correctly. Out of the tunnel into the Neuville chicane. Stay clear of that barrier on the inside there. And he has invalidated that lap attempt. He's gone too much over the what do you call it there? Too over the entry curve through that. I believe the next one on a hot lap behind him is that of... No, it's actually not Gravity. It is Peter DRH making his way into Tabac now. Purple Sector 2 for him naturally through the best camera angle in F1 right there into the swimming pool. Exiting the swimming pool then. Oversteer may happen there, has to be said, into Raskas, and then eventually Anthony Nogues. Acceleration out of Anthony Nogues is going to be very, very important, and I think he's done it quite well. Peter DRH coming to the line now. What does he have in store? It's going to be a 125, 168. Not bad. Is it enough? No, Sui has gone even faster, 1:23.211. Clearly the fastest lap of the session so far, by over almost 2 seconds. Next up, we're going to have a Red Bull. I believe it's that of K-Dog. Oh, that may have not been the best trip through Rascasse then. She's gone a bit wide. Exiting Anthony Nogues looks to be... Yeah, I say maybe that one was more of an installation lap there. I think this might be the lap to look out for K-Dog as she goes back up through Saint-Devote. Next up, we do have a Ferrari. It is that of DRL Racer X. Yet again, probably just another installation lap. Get used to the circuit. He's half a minute behind. His teammate of Gonzalez has gone third place at the moment. Jose Miguel has just crossed the line. He's gone just over 0.3 of a second behind Sui. So in the early goings, it looks like Sui has a very, very solid lap that may keep him on provisional pole for quite some time, which would be good to see for him. Jose Miguel has actually just had the best Sector 3 so far, I believe is what that was. We got a Mercedes to the line now. It was Brian Mosser, and he's gone third. 0.5 of a second behind, puts himself, I don't want to say comfortably in the top 4. Yeah, maybe comfortably is the correct word there. He is half a second off, but P5. Oh, that's right, tricky, that one. Oh, I believe that was Dead Text Messages had the spin. Oh, hey, well, I tell you what, he's going to get disqualified here, and not because he's done anything wrong, but because the only way to turn this around is to do a 74-point turn. Oh, uh-oh. Yeah, well, I saw that one coming a mile away, has to be said. Well, Dead Text Message is a 5-place grid penalty for Sui. Yeah, I feel for Dead Text Message there. There's really not much he could have done. You know, oh, and he's still parked there, isn't he? That's the Mercedes, I believe, of Call Me Maybe, has just gone up the hill next to him. But, you know, he was spun around in a weird spot, and he contemplating going the wrong way down the hill to find more space to get turned around, and he'll be disqualified for that. So, you know, I think it's better off for him to take the grid penalty there. Whether he earned it or not, he does not deserve one. But, you know, I think this game is very finicky on that sort of thing. It was probably better for him just to do what he's done there. Not Gravity has just gone fastest. 1:21.527. Now, not long before that, Alex had gone provisional second place then. And guess what? He's down by a second and a half. Although he has just gone purple Sector 1. Has he meant to do that? Because he's on very low battery. Yeah, I tell you what, I don't really think this is a timed lap here, but he's gone purple Sector 1, hasn't he? Coming through now into the Neuville chicane. Let's see how he handles this one. All but 4 drivers out on track at this moment in time. Just going to be coming to the Sector 2 timing line here in a second as he exits to back. Is he on any better? Yeah, I tell you what, 0.5 of a second better with very little energy storage. I tell you what, this is going to be a lap to look out here for Alex as he makes his way now into Rascasse. Oh, I tell you what, he's picture perfect, that one there. Exiting Anthony Nogues now. Down to the line goes Alex. How does he fare? And he is 0.5 of a second faster. Still second, but he's put himself, well, I would say within the same ballpark. I'd say at this point even the same division. Because right now, Not Gravity, that is one flyer of a lap. It's going to be very, very difficult to do, well, I'd say anything better than that. 1:21, that's probably faster than I am in the dry. But I tell you what, that's a great lap, that. Who do we have next? I believe next up we do have an Aston Martin coming to the line. It is not Mediotti, it's his teammate of Pork Chops who's coming through now. He's actually leapfrogged Mediotti there. Mediotti coming out of Anthony Nogues now, down to the line. Let's see what he has. And he goes fourth, 1:23.297, takes off nearly 2 seconds off his time, moves himself onto the second row. Very, very respectable lap from him so far, and while we have a moment, let's go ahead and take a look at our Division 3 drivers and constructors standings so far here, going in towards round 10. Remember, only 3 more rounds after tonight. Spain, Singapore, and Canada to round off the season with 4 rounds to go, including tonight. We do have Mediotti leading the points at 4:58. Ray not all that far behind at 4:44. Noganator 4:09. Soy Loco 3:98. So Loco, by the way, 9 points off of the final promotion spot of P3 into Division 2. Behind him, Sui, down by 4 at 394. Alex, 393. S7, 389. Porkchops, 387. Jose Miguel, 378. Brian Mosser, rounding at the top 10 of 358. Now, as far as the relegation battle goes, we do have Dead Text Message sitting in that final bubble spot at 134. Maxo behind him at 39, and then Racer X has yet to score. So it looks as if, well, I tell you what, one good result for Dead Text Message might put himself ahead of Merfancelli. Merfancelli's at 175, so not all that out of reach is safety from relegation as far as Dead Text Message is concerned. But he'll have to have one good result here tonight. And I tell you what, he's just had the incident not long ago, spinning up the hill through Beau Rivage and then getting the 5-place grid penalty. It may be quite a tricky ask for him. As far as the constructors' standings, well, that's not been updated since Miami. Oh, no, there we go, finally loaded. After Imola, Aston Martin leads the table 818. Williams in second, 780. McLaren not far behind, 771. Red Bull 11 behind them at 760. Mercedes only 6 behind Red Bull at 754. Then we drop off a bit to Haas at 566. Alpine 455. AlphaTauri 419, Alfa Romeo 414, and then Ferrari down in P10 at 210. Not been a very good season to remember for the Tifosi, but hopefully they'll find something to salvage here. Gonzalez currently finds himself P7. DRL Racer X 4.5 seconds off. I would assume that he's got more up his sleeve. And with not every driver out on track, now might be the time to consider coming out. And, well, speaking of the devil, there he is, coming out on track now. And I believe that is an Alfa Romeo. And yet again, it's Dead Text Message, who's found himself perpendicular with the circuit and trying his best, doing 75-point turns here, trying to get out of the way. As I believe, I'm hoping that was DRL Racer X. Yes, it was, who was not on a timed lap. And thankfully for him, he's not had a time lost because of that incident. However, behind him, Porkchops, who seems to be on a timed lap so far, not far behind. This Ferrari and that Alfa Romeo will probably have to move out of the way here. The Ferrari does. Porkchops now heading through the tunnel. Yellow flag, yep, it's behind him. It is for the Ferrari, getting out of his way. Down into the Neuville chicane. Let's see how Porkchops handles this. Currently P11. Yeah, I tell you what, that was pretty tidy. Acceleration good as well. Yeah, I don't see much wrong with that. In towards Tabac now, maybe a little wide, little tentative getting on the throttle. The back of the car kind of slipped out from him, and this isn't a timed lap attempt. He's 2.2 seconds off from Sector 2, so I would assume this is going to be the next timed lap attempt here. So we do have, that is an AlphaTauri, and it's, oh no, it's Maxo, who has he found a barrier or getting out of the way? I'm not rightly sure. Either way, he's triggered the yellow flags there. Porkchops. Oh, goodness gracious! Yeah, and I think Porkchops, rightfully so, slightly upset with that one. What happened there? Porkchop's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane, and not only that, his car has refused to leave the circuit. Alex has picked up a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with the robot of Porkchops. Why has Mediati's been disqualified as well? Why has Mediati suddenly gone onto the circuit like that after coming out of the pit lane? That, I've every reason to be upset with him, Porkchops there. I think I completely understand. However, for the team currently leading the championship standings, yeah, that's probably not the qualifying result that they wanted. I'm sure that one might be found by the stewards, and even so in the Aston Martin team chat later in the night, that one. Oh, I tell you what, that's going to boil the blood just a little bit, that one. So we currently see Giancarlos De Oleo. That's a fun one to say. At a casino at the moment. We'll have to get back going here. He doesn't want to have disqualification. Are we going to have DRL Racer X to the line? I don't think he's gotten the best exit out of Anthony Nogues. He's gone 1:23.834. I believe it was still 2.5 seconds faster than previous. We have a Mercedes that's gone off. It's Call Me Maybe. Oh, I tell you what, that was quite scary, that, but he's spun it going under the tunnel. And I think, yeah, doesn't appear that he's got damage, hard to tell. Let's see, no, he is missing the right front end plate, isn't he? And next up is the Alpine of Sweet coming to the line now. Set provisional pole for not that long ago. Let's see if he's got anything to say here. 3.5 minutes left in the session. Not Gravity still has provisional pole by an astounding 0.8 of a second over Comey maybe in second. Let's see if Sweet can put himself back on the front row here as he heads up through Beau Rivage into Massenet. Really down to the inside of the corner there, then through Casino. I tell you what, his line looks nice and tidy. Avoids the tree route down the hill. Purple Sector 1 so far, only 3/100ths of a second faster. That's how tight the gap is everywhere outside the top three. Through the hairpin he goes. I think he's taken that one quite wide. That one's probably not helped him on the timing sheets. Has to be said, he's gone wide, nearly clipped the barriers. Out of Portier he goes. Back on the throttle, through the tunnel. Oh, is he going to get the toe from his teammate here? He very well may. His teammate's got to get out of the way, and he doesn't. And I tell you what, oh, and that. Oh, that was Ray Ray, and I think Ray Ray caught on to that just a second too late. Because any advantage that Sui had with the toe, Ray Ray has not really helped him. Because Ray Ray had remained in the racing line, in the braking zone, on the way into the Neuville chicane. Not been a very good qualifying session here. If you have a teammate on the grid, I'll say that much. Sui is retired from the session. He's got 2 minutes to go. I think he could have put in another one, but he's done all he can do. Finds himself P8, as I believe that was it Jose Miguel, has just crossed the line, puts himself in third. And oh, by the way, Not Gravity puts himself within 2/100ths of a second of Noganator. By the way, where the hell did the Noganator come out of? He was, I tell you what, I could have swore Not Gravity was leading that session not long ago, but Noganator has done well. 121.514, separates himself and Not Gravity by less than 2/100ths of a second. In fact, just over 1/100th of a second. Not Gravity, full battery, minute and a half, so he'll be able to start one more lap once he finds his way around. And perhaps he'll have another go at pole position. Who else is on track? We do have Jose Miguel. He is on low battery. I wouldn't assume this to be his timed attempt. In front of him, the Alpine of Ray Ray. I believe we just had Gonzalez start a timed lap there as he finds his way up through Beau Rivage. 0.2 of a second, that said, through Sector 2. Jose Miguel on his way into Rascasse now. Still has the Alpine of Ray Ray ahead of him into Anthony Nogues. Exit of the corner. I tell you what, if he's got an acceleration, that one could be okay. To the line goes Jose Miguel. Shaves 0.6 of a second off of his time. Moves within 0.2 of the current provisional pole sitter of the Noganator. Meanwhile, Not Gravity is going to be starting his final timed lap now. Let's go along with the Haas driver as he makes his way into Saint-Devote. Let's see, how does he handle the braking zone? Oh, maybe a bit wide on exit. Maybe he's pushed just a smidge too far up the hill through Beau Rivage. In towards Massenet now. Just riding fourth gear through there. You can see the lick of oversteer he had. Keeping it under control. Avoids the tree route. 3.5 faster through Sector 1 so far. Down the hill, in towards the hairpin. He has his teammate of Peter DRH ahead of him. Does he perhaps find the toe through the tunnel? Noganator's done all he can do. Call Me Maybe's gone 5th. Brian Mosser 10th. Maxo 12th. K-Dog 14th. Dead text message 16th. Through the tunnel goes Not Gravity. Heading now into the Neuville chicane. We'll be coming up to the Sector 2 line here momentarily. He's gone heavy over the entrance curb there. I tell you what, I think he could have done that a little bit better. But to the timing line, out of tobacco. Oh, he's hit the inside wall and then the outside wall. And yeah, he's now slower by 1/4 of a second. Oh, and that one has not gone well for Not Gravity, because I tell you what, before heading into tobacco and hitting the barriers, I think he was surely on pace to retake provisional pole. And I think Noganator's going to have this one wrapped up. Yes, he will. Noganator, pole position. here in Monaco, unless perhaps does Giancarlos have anything to say as he makes his way out of the swimming pool and now in towards Raskas. And he's found the barriers there, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is going to be it. Noganator on pole in the Williams. Great result for him. And oh, by the way, not Gravity, not that far behind either. So your starting grid then for the Monaco Grand Prix. It's Noganator on pole by less than 2/100ths of a second over Not Gravity. It's third for Jose Miguel. Fourth is Ray Ray. Fifth, Call Me Maybe. Sixth is Alex. Seventh is Soy Loco. Eighth is DRL Racer X. Ninth is Sweet. 10th, Brian Mosser. 11th is Gonzalez. 12th is Maxo. 13th, Peter DRH. 14th, K-Dog. 15th, Jean Carlos. 16th, Dead Text Message. Unfortunately for the Aston Martin team of Mediotti and Porkchops, they had themselves quite the conundrum in the qualifying session, both finding themselves disqualified from the session. But I tell you what, starting last is not nearly as bad as starting P10. Noganator's going to have a lot of defending off the to do off the line, and he's got some hungry drivers behind him. What will happen in the Midnight Monaco Grand Prix here in Season 9? Stick with us. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, 25 seconds away from the formation lap of the Midnight Monaco Grand Prix. Midwest F1 brought to you by Raise Energy and Epos Audio. Boy, am I excited. It's always a fun time heading to Monaco. It's always one of those races. It's very much like a car crash that you can't look away from because you know it's going to be happening and you know it's going to be entertaining. Pun intended with the car crash, that part is for sure. Over under 10.5 front wing changes tonight. Oh, I might just have to bet the over for that. Formation lap underway here. Now, according to my notes... Oh, and I tell you what, we got some blokes on the softs tonight as well. According to my notes, those soft tires are going to last you between 9 and 14 laps. The mediums anywhere from 25 to 30, and the hards over 30 laps. At least that's according to my notes. I don't remember if that's from last game or this game, because sometimes you just don't visit these tracks enough to actually, you know, have a fair idea of what game you're in. But top 3 drivers on mediums. Ray Ray, the lone driver in the top 10 to go on the hards. It looks to me like he's going to be playing the long game here. Call Me Maybe on the mediums. The only other driver on the off compound is Gonzalez on the softs. Currently starting P10, Mediotti on the softs back in P17. Porkchops on the hards at P18. So it looks to me, a lot of drivers going to be planning for the early safety car here. And I would assume that's why we see a majority of the medium tires, perhaps even those on the soft tires as well. That maybe that's going to be their ideal strategy then. Is going to be, you know, find that early safety car and see what you can do as far as strategy. Because tonight it's going to be one of those races. It's going to be one of those races. It's not who does better, it's who sucks less. Because that's just how Monaco is. Should be a very interesting Grand Prix here tonight. Noganator on pole. Very, very close margins it was for pole position between these two. Let's see, where does he line up? I'm assuming he's going to have the inside into the first corner. That's going to help him tremendously unless does he find contact from behind from Jose Miguel. That's going to be my only question. Yep, he's going to get the furthest ahead grid slot there. On the right-hand side, on the way down in towards the corner. Look how far across Not Gravity has positioned his car. He's going to want the lead in towards the first corner. That's, I mean, you know the old sayings, no heroics into Sandoval. Well, I tell you what, you may not have that much of an option here with 3 rounds to go in the season after tonight. Big implications in play. Big race. Big night, and here we go. The lights turning on here in Monaco. We have 5 red lights, and we're off. And the Haas looks like he got a much better start. He's already around the outside as they head in towards Sandoval, and looks behind Jose Miguel and Noganator side by side. Noganator falling off just a little bit quick. He's already lost the spot to Jose Miguel. Dead text message, 5-second penalty for a severe collision with, oh no, it's Maxo, and they're off at the tail end of the grid already as they're only making their way into Massenet now. but as the grid files itself down, it looks like we do have the McLaren of Alex and Brian Mosser side by side as they make their way down in towards the hairpin. Beautiful camera shot this is, as always. It looks as if, oh, we almost had the Haas side by side with Mediati then, and it looks like Pork Chop's trying to go around the outside of K-Dog as they make their way through the hairpin. But for now, everything looks all right, and it does look as if Pork Chop's gotten around that time down the inside, had the preferred line going through the hairpin, and that was a beautiful overtake that from Pork Chops, and it looks like Swee and Alex making their way, they're side by side. That was a move into the Neuville chicane. You don't see that every day now, do you? That was a beautiful move there, it looked. And now, I think finally, as the grid starts to calm itself down here, now it's going to be up to who can drive the cleanest and most consistent. Oh, I think Brian Mosser's gone way deep into Raskas then. That has severely hampered him, and Gonzalez almost had a move to make the spot, but he didn't quite have enough real estate. Down the straight, Alex is going to try around the outside through Sandoval. He's going to switch back down to the inside. Call Me Maybe's not had good acceleration, and Alex has made the move going up through Beau Rivage. That was brilliantly done there from the Italian. And not only that, but behind, it looks like Swee might have a look at Call Me Maybe if perhaps the Mercedes ahead does get poor acceleration like he had out of Saint-Navat. It's going to be something to see for sure as they head down the hill in towards the hairpin. Maybe perhaps some contact there as Gonzalez almost got into the back of Brian Mosser. It looked very close indeed, and I think he's come away all right, but that one got way too close for comfort as it looks like Jean Carlos is under pressure from Mediati as they make their way through the tunnel in towards the Neuville chicane. Mediati's too far behind to make anything happen here, but one can hope. Oh, and I think Jean Carlos has hit the inside of the Armco barrier coming out into the Neuville chicane, and I tell you what, that one has almost sent his race spinning away, but it looks like he's been able to recover and he's been able to hold the spot as well. That one got very, very close indeed. DRS is going to be open this time by, of course it is a track where the DRS doesn't matter all that much, but it's still good to have, as it looks like now Swee and Call Me Maybe side by side here as they're on their way into Saint-Navat. Call Me Maybe's gone heavy over the inside curb, and Swee has taken one there. Brilliantly done. Already more overtakes in this race than I guarantee we're going to see on Sunday, that part's for sure. Beautiful move from Swee. He's done that one very well. DRL Racer X might be under pressure from Alex here. It's half a second. At the moment, it looks like Maxo and Dead Text Message might have a little bit of a tussle here as they make their way down into the hairpin. Remember, these two collided early on the first lap. That's why you see Dead Text Message with a 5-second penalty for severe collision. We'll check back with that one in a minute as Alex, oh, I tell you what, from the timing, it looked as if he was about to have a move made there. But it's not quite happened, and it looks like now, oh, I'm not quite sure. Oh, but look at this, Jose Miguel's lost the entirety of his front wing. And not only that, but he's holding up the two drivers behind him. This could get hairy. Jose Miguel on his way into the pits, but that has not helped Noganator and Ray Ray as much as having one less driver in the way. That has opened up a 4.5-second gap back from Not Gravity to the Noganator. Oh, I tell you what, that one's not gone well, but here's Alex. Is he going to have a move up through Massenet? Tell you what, he had a fair look, but here we have the two Mercedes in close contact here. Nothing quite yet to be said. I'm going to keep my eye on Alex for right now. He's gotten several close attempts at an overtake at DRL Racer X. He's really putting the pressure on the Ferrari ahead. I tell you what, Alex, I would assume, is going to be able to make that move as well. I think he might seriously have a go. Look at the amount of movement we've had. Not Gravity's taken the top spot away from Noganator. It looks like, oh, Gonzalez has overtaken Brian Mosser there. I tell you what, Brian Mosser, I think he may have been struggling with his car. He's hit the wall going through the tunnel. I'm not actually quite sure where he's lost that spot, but I'm going to assume it was a mistake more than a proper overtake there. Alex currently up 5-0, and I tell you what, look at this. We do have, that is Alex's teammate of, actually, no, it's not. I thought it was the McLaren ahead. It's not. It's Soy Loco, but here comes DRS from Alex. I tell you what, Soy Loco did not do well for Racer X there, as Alex is going to try it up the inside through Beau Rivage. Oh, he certainly had a look but that one wasn't going to be made happen. Pork Chops has just overtaken Peter DRH with DRS going down the pit straight. I'm afraid I haven't seen it, but I tell you what, that was a very solid maneuver, it seemed. Maxo 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That one may come to haunt you here in Monaco, that part's for sure, as this group of cars heads down the hill through Portier and back into the tunnel. Mediotti, 6 positions gained. His teammate of Pork Chops up 5 as well after their collision in the qualifying session. We have a yellow flag somewhere. It's through the hairpin. No, maybe not. It's gone away quite quickly, whatever it was. Remember the collision that the two Aston Martins had with each other? Both results of them being disqualified starting P17, P18, and they've not gotten in each other's way since. Both of them have done well to climb positions. Pork Chops up 5, Mediotti up 6, Alex up 5 as well. Very good race so far as we're about to enter the 7th lap of the Grand Prix. We have a yellow flag somewhere. It's behind. Looks as if, oh, has Maxo done something there? He's a bit slow. Oh, and he's got a puncture. Oh, and that's quite odd there. Maxo has a puncture here. Well, K-Dog's on her way into the pits. Is she changing a front wing? No, she's going from medium to hard early. Bold decision there from the Red Bull driver. Interesting strategy call. We'll have to wait and see if it pays off. Maxo has come away with a good stop after his puncture. I'm not quite sure where that one has happened, but happened it has. We have a yellow flag. It is Maxo getting out of the pits. Back on track. K-Dog, 3-second penalty for corner cutting. Not sure where she picked that one up. It seems as if she was going through Sandoval, but not quite sure. Alex once again within 3/10 on Racer X, and as I said that, falling behind once more. Pork Chops within 3/10 on John Carlos back there. Let's go along with Pork Chops. John Carlos has not had a good move through the Neuville chicane. Nearly allowed Pork Chops to have the door open, but I tell you what now, Alex is going to be looking for the left-hand side on the Ferrari of DRL Racer X into Sandoval. Very close contact there, and Alex has come away with a maneuver. Very nicely done from the McLaren driver. What a race he's having, and what a show he's putting on for us. And now Sui, does he perhaps have a move at DRL Racer X? I tell you what, oh, Maxo's picked up 10 seconds for corner cutting there. Look at the penalties, up to 19 seconds already. As it looks like, oh, Jose Miguel has just overtaken dead text message going up the hill out of Sandoval. That one looked very nice indeed. Pork Chops now. I tell you what, you'll have to get past Jean Carlos here because Jean Carlos has a 10-second gap back to Mediotti for P11. Oh, and Maxo is retired. Okay, it's in the pits. Never mind. Well, I tell you what, it's quite interesting, this. Pork Chops very much struggling to get past Jean Carlos here. Let's see. Jean Carlos wide out of Portier. This might be the move to be made. Moves to the inside. Pork Chops in pursuit, entering the Neuville chicane. Pork Chops has had a much better go at that one, but I'm afraid he's just got no real estate to make the maneuver happen. Heavy contact with the wall there for Jean Carlos. Oh, that one may be a wing change there. No, I still see the end plate. Somehow he's done well. Oh, Peter DRH in dead text message. That was contact there for sure as they went through the swimming pool. And that nearly ended poorly. Definite contact with the wall was with Peter DRH. Somehow he's come away unscathed. Pork Chops down to the inside on Jean Carlos. Oh, well, I tell you what, that one. Man, I don't really know what's happened there, but Pork Chops. Yeah, it's not the cleanest overtake I've seen him make. That part's for sure. I tell you what. Tough call on that one as DRL Racer X gets around the outside of Sui going through the tunnel. My goodness me, the amount of overtaking. Oh, and he's hit the inside wall, and with a little more help from Sui accidentally, Sui gets the spot back. Oh, and that was unfortunate for DRL Racer X. He did so well in that battle with Sui there, and I'm afraid he's clipped the inside wall heading into the Neuville chicane, and Sui's just simply had nowhere to go except into the gearbox of the Ferrari, and I'm afraid it's all gone spinning away from Racer X then. Very good battle, very not so good end to that one. As it looks now, Gonzalez is in the pits. That's why we see him losing the spot there to Mediati. 3.5 tenths between Alex and Soy Loco. This being for the 4th spot as they make their way through down towards the hairpin now. Does anyone have a line? We've seen overtakes through this happen. I remember watching Division 2 races, them being 3 wide through that corner. It's certainly possible. As Alex in pursuit, waiting for that moment where Soy Loco will have somewhat of a weakness. Again, it's going to be waiting and playing that patient game to see when the driver ahead makes a mistake for you to capitalize on. And I tell you what, Soy Loco, very experienced driver. Alex is going to have to, I think, sit there quite a while because Soy Loco is definitely in a position to where once he's in his groove, he's not getting rid of it. That part's for sure. And I can tell you what now, he is looking like he's starting to pull away from the McLaren as they now go through Rascasse in towards Anthony Nogues. DRS activated for the McLaren. Pork Chops on his way into the pits, it seems. Am I right about that? No, I tell you what, he's just been genuinely overtaken by Jose Miguel there. I didn't see it at first. Very nice, as it looks like the two Alfa Romeos in close contact here. Jean Carlos in dead text message as they make their way through the swimming pool. And I tell you what, Jean Carlos has parked it on the apex then. It's not gone well. Tough to tell what the move is here. I tell you what, Gonzalez might have a move around DRH here. Certainly wanted to look for it. And he's backed out. I don't want to say last minute. He's done it quite early, actually. But now comes Gonzalez. Side by side. Oh, and through Beau Rivage they went, and I'm afraid that wall came creeping up on Gonzalez there. He's not actually been able to make that move happen. It's unfortunate because I tell you what, he was right on pace to make the overtake. And I'm afraid that time will not be the answer. But as they go down through the hairpin now, oh, I tell you what, Alfa Romeo side by side, still side by side, as they go into Portier now. This one could get hairy. Oh, I tell you what, that one very close to dangerous then. Oh, and that's an Aston Martin. Is it Pork Chops? No, it's his teammate of Mediati. He's hit the wall going through the swimming pool. He's missing the end plate on the right-hand side of the car. This is the championship leader, by the way. Very not ideal there. He'll be making a stop into the pits. As it looks now, Alex still doing his best. As I tell you what, once more, it looks as if... well, no, it's just the wing change happening then. I thought perhaps we were having an overtake. I was wrong. Once again, both Alfa Romeos in close quarters here. Less than 2/10 of a second. DRS activated. Does Jean Carlos have a move down into... What in the hell? That. And there goes. And we've got ourselves a traffic jam here. Going up the hill out of Saint-Navat as the two Alfa Romeos have come together through Saint-Navat. Jean Carlos has come away okay, but I'm afraid dead text message in a very similar position as he was before in the qualifying session. When he's backed into K-Dog, then I'm afraid. Might be facing a disqualification here if he doesn't get that car backed around quick enough. Oh, I tell you what. Oh, and that might be the leader of the race right there. Yes, it is. Both Noganator and Gravity have had to navigate that one. As still, dead text message trying to find a way out of this here. As what was that dear old Racer X could do. Now, those were cars on the lead lap, by the way, but I'm afraid they've just had nowhere to go. What a turn of events that was there. The two Alfa Romeos coming together. Two and a half tenths as they look down in towards the Neuville chicane. The answer is going to be no this time by. Tell you what, I'll credit where it's due to Alex here. Certainly putting the pressure on Soy Loco. You pressure a driver enough, one of these days, one of these days, he may make that move happen. Oh, that's a hefty bit of front wing there on the straight. I'm hoping nobody has a puncture. And speaking of puncture, there goes Soy Loco. Well, it was the front wing of K-Dog that littered the circuit, exiting Anthony Nogues. As you can see, there's the culprit of K-Dog there, her front wing missing. And now it's affected her teammate of Soy Loco. He's got a left front puncture. As the front wing, still, as you can see, pieces of it everywhere. Coming out of Anthony Nogues. Let's see if it's still there. No, it's finally been cleaned up, but I tell you what, that one's not gone well. Soy Loco is doing his best to try to get out of the way here. It seems DRL Racer X is going to make that overtake happen. Goodness me, I'm in shock of what's happening there. Soy Loco has had a brilliant race up to this point. When I tell you what, that's not what you want to see. And I'm also surprised because that was an entirety of a front wing there. Why we've not had a virtual safety car or a full safety car or anything, that would have been helpful. But I tell you what, I don't think Soy Loco's race deserved to be tampered with there on behalf of the front wing that was left behind by his teammate of K-Dog. He's gonna have to find his way into the pits this time. He's got what is that, pork chops behind him, as well as that's one of the Alfa Romeos going past there. Also have a yellow flag a little bit further back. Jose Miguel, he's got a puncture as well. Ay, 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 punctures everywhere. That's a third one this race. Jeez. Be hard-pressed to find one puncture in a Grand Prix in a normal race. I tell you what, you don't even see them really that often in Monaco. You see a DNF before punctures. We've had 3 of them so far today. Jeez. Soy Loco, 3-second time penalty for him for corner cutting. We now have Alex pressuring Ray Ray, who was pressuring Soy Loco. That's gone away after Soy Loco's puncture. And now Alex is in the position to perhaps put himself on the podium. Here he goes. Does he have anything on Ray Ray here? Well, I tell you what, he wanted to have a look up through Beau Rivage. He's not made it happen. Again, one mistake might find Alex the position here. Down into the corner. Doesn't have anything there. I figured that was a little bit too far back. Racer X on his way into the pits. Through the hairpin they go. One slight mistake, one slip up from Ray Ray could result in Alex getting on the podium. In towards the tunnel now. Remember, not gravity, not that far ahead either, and I believe we've had an Alfa Romeo maybe have a tumble there going through the hairpin. Not gravity, remember, got caught up in dead text message after text message had the incident with his teammate exiting Saint-Devote, which resulted in, oh, I tell you what, speaking of his teammate, that's John Carlos, and he is retired, and that's going in towards the Neuville chicane. And Brian Mosser has picked up 3 seconds for corner cutting. Now, I believe that was to get away from the incident. I'm just wondering, where has the accident happened? And I believe he's clipped the inside of the corner there, but yet again, more debris on the circuit, as you can see, and I believe Soy Loco's just ran it over. Oh no, that was his teammate of K-Dog. Perhaps did she just run that over, and I tell you what, Soy Loco doesn't need another puncture here, and finally the debris was clean. Well, that one's not gone well. Mediotti versus Peter now. I tell you what, Mediotti nearly had a look at Peter. I don't think Peter's had the best go through the Neuville chicane. Oh yeah, he is right slow on course at the moment, isn't he? Is he missing front wing? No, he's not. I think he's just genuinely trying to be careful at the moment. Well, this has thrown our pit strategy for a loop here, because I'm pretty sure every driver stopped, you know, at least once now. Yeah, about half the grid. And half the grid is stopped for punctures and wing changes. I tell you what, this is throwing a monkey wrench into the strategist here. And speaking of strategist, not Gravity, on his way in. Does the Haas have a front wing waiting for him as he pulls into the pit bay? The answer is yes. Front wing going on here. Now, you know, as you can see on your screen, there wasn't anything wrong with the old front wing. But they've decided to fit one anyways. And it doesn't look like he's going to lose any more than another position here. Oh, but we do have a Ferrari that's gone up. Oh, that's heavy contact. That's heavy contact with the Ferrari of his teammate, of Gonzalez, and I'm afraid he's just not had that much place to go. Racer X was sideways, exiting the Neuville chicane in the middle of the track, albeit it's a blind corner, but at the cost of his teammate. We've had another incident here, as we do have, I believe, dead text message has just gone for a slight spin. And Racer X is retired from the session. Monaco has claimed 4 here tonight. I'm going to pause my recording temporarily. It's done that blue screen thing again, as Noganator's on his way in. We'll get back to that one in just a moment. So as we come back here, Noganator and Alex and Sui have all decided to pit. Ray has stayed out. Remember, Ray started on the hards, Noganator and Alex both on fresh hards as well. Call Me Maybe started on the mediums, and he has stayed out so far. So that leaves not very many drivers left to stop. In fact, only 3, Ray, Call Me Maybe, and Pork Chops. The only 3 yet to stop. Call Me Maybe started on the mediums. Gonzalez not happy with K-Dog at this moment in time. With K-Dog being a lapped car, I'm assuming he's upset if K-Dog didn't get out of the way. That's what it looks to be the culprit there. Closest battle launch. Oh, goodness me! Gravity's picked up 5 seconds for corner cutting. He's lost his front wing as well. And he is severely... As Gravity's retired from the session now, I don't know if that's on track. Yes, it is. He's genuinely retired there. Oh, and that is a huge blow to the competition, because I tell you what... I think he's either just locked up or he's made a decision too late on their way into the Neuville chicane, because he's certainly collected Call Me Maybe. Gravity admitting to his mistake there, apologizing in the Discord. I tell you what, sometimes that sort of thing just happens, and unfortunately I could see it from a mile away. Call Me Maybe's, Call Me Maybe has suffered by about 2 positions there, I think, in the long run. It looks as if Not Gravity is unhappy with dead text message, claiming he's ruined his race. And now suddenly we have ourselves a very spread out grid. Apologies if I'm being a little bit quiet. I'm serious acid reflux happening at the moment. I'm not quite sure why. Need to go find myself some Nexium or something. I'll wait. Well, I mean... I'm not quite sure. Anyways, Soy Loco making his way now. Closest battle on track is that of Soy Loco. He is trying to hunt down Call Me Maybe. Here, I don't want to say we're only halfway through the race. That's exactly where we are, halfway through the race. 39 laps, 20 completed. A lot of Monaco left here. Soy Loco doing his best. I tell you what, he's within the second of Call Me Maybe now. Started to perhaps look a threat to the Mercedes ahead. And it looks behind. And yeah, that is K-Dog getting out of the way. Despite Soy Loco having that 3-second time penalty, I don't think he would lose any positions other than that he would take from Call Me Maybe, considering Brian Mosser, Jose Miguel, and that of even Peter do have penalties. Goodness me. Well, I tell you what, what's happened here? Ray has decided to pit. Now, that was the stop that we were waiting to see made. He's going to drop down to third. Now, mind you, Noganator and Alex both somewhat decently fresh, hard tires. Ray's just come out and fit the mediums. Sure to last them to the end of the race. One driver left to stop, and it is that of Porkchop. Remember, he started on the hards. Tell you what, Jose Miguel might be having a look at Brian Mosser here. Those McLaren drivers have definitely got some testicular fortitude, I'll say that much. Both of them doing their best to find moves and try to make them happen. That part's for sure. We've seen it all day so far. Tell you what, he might be having a look up through into Massenet here shortly. 0.3 of a second in closing. There he goes, looking down the inside. Side by side. Does he have it? Well, it's going to be another drag race down into the hairpin. Jose Miguel's got the outside line. Does he get better acceleration? Yes, he does. Jose Miguel. I don't want to say does the impossible, but goodness me, what a battle that was. Remember, both of these drivers on 3-second penalties. They're racing for position. So Loco's going to pick up 3 seconds. That puts him to 6. I tell you what, Brian Mosser still in pursuit here. Still doing his best. I tell you what, Soy Loco still doing his best to try to get around Call Me Maybe. That gap within 0.7 of a second. He'll have DRS. Not necessarily touched much of his battery either, down within 0.4. Up the hill, oh, we've got ourselves an Alfa Romeo that's gone off. It's that of dead text message, I'm afraid. And he has lost the end plate on the right-hand side. Not ideal for him. We're down to 13 here in Monaco. Don't look now, but Mediati might be having a move at Brian Mosser here shortly. Currently 0.5 of a second or less as they head into the hairpin. Making their way through Portier now. Yellow flag somewhere. Just going through sector. Oh, I tell you what, Mediati's made that move happen. He's gone through the tunnel and he's gotten around the Mercedes. That was brilliant. I tell you what, there's some good overtaking happening today. Meanwhile, Soy Loco's still trying to do his best to find... Well, I tell you what, either he's perhaps waiting for Call Me Maybe to make the mistake, and then capitalize after that as Porkchop's on his way in. He fits the medium compound tires. Gonna find himself, well, he's 9th now as Brian Mosser on his way in. Drops himself behind his teammate of Mediati in 8th. Closest battle still on track is Soy Loco to Call Me Maybe. Remember, Soy Loco's got 6 seconds of penalty, as you can see on the left side of your screen. Meanwhile, we might be having ourselves a battle here for the second spot. Ray within a second of Alex ahead. Now, Alex has had a brilliant race so far. I tell you what, he certainly earns driver of the day, in my opinion, up 9 spots. And I tell you what, those weren't fluke overtakes either. Those weren't like, you know, wait in the pits and see what happens. He's genuinely overtaken a lot of people today. 0.5 of a second. Ray doing his best to try to find something to Alex here. Closing in on 10 to go in a couple of laps' time. Uh-oh, we've just had an incident there, and there's Call Me Maybe. That is going in towards Anthony Nogues. Awful part of the circuit to have gone off there. Has he lost any front wing? And the answer is no. Aye, not what he needed, and I tell you what, Soy Loco finally got his wish. And, you know, being persistent and hoping that the mistake would happen, because there it has. As Call Me Maybe drops down to P8. Meanwhile, Ray doing his best. He's within a second. Tell you what, he's gotten right close to the inside wall there through Anthony Nogues. He's not going to have DRS. As they now head into Saint-Devat. Gravity's left the session, heading up the hill once more through Massenet. Oh, sorry, through Beau Rivage and into Massenet. Meanwhile, behind 0.5 of a second, the gap between these two. Jose Miguel and Soy Loco battling for position here. Soy Loco on 6 seconds of penalties, Jose Miguel on 3. We've got 14 laps to go so far. 0.8 of a second the gap. Perhaps does Ray pressure Alex into a mistake here? That's what I would assume. Meanwhile, Jose Miguel, oh, he had DRS back to Soy Loco. I tell you what, he's giving him a fair fight here. Up the hill through Beau Rivage. Does he perhaps have a line into Massenet? The answer is going to be no. But he is right there, in case Soy Loco does make a slip as they head down the hill. Jose Miguel trying to do everything he can to find some line around Soy Loco here as they head into the hairpin. I tell you what, it almost seemed as if there was contact made there. Soy Loco has dropped a couple of tenths then. And now his pork chops on Call Me Maybe as they head into the hairpin. 0.5 of a second this gap here, and closing. Pork Chop's doing the best that he can. He's had one hell of an up and down day so far, but I tell you what, his comeback story has been second to none. Oh! And he's gone over the chicane there. Thankfully, he was able to pull it back. That one's not helped him. Thankfully, he's not gone straight over the chicane and picked up the penalty. He's actually done well to get the car back down in time, although hitting the braking zone late. Yeah, good on Pork Chops there to keep himself in contention for this overtake. He'll have DRS as well. I tell you what, he is in right close of a position here. Call Me Maybe using that overtake button down the straight, as you could tell. And the overtake hasn't been made, but now here's Jose Miguel within 0.3 of Soy Loco ahead, now heading into the hairpin. Remember, Jose Miguel on those mediums as well. He'll have the tire advantage. Pork Chops, does he have a move on Call Me Maybe down into the hairpin? We'll find out here in a second. Let's see, gets awfully close, nearly contact being made, and Pork Chops backs off. Oh, but this battle here, into the Neuville chicane, Jose Miguel on the outside. Soy Loco handled it well to defend the inside line. Well, that one got hairy indeed, and Soy Loco stays ahead. He'll need to put 3 seconds back to Jose Miguel to keep the spot. Jose Miguel wants to move around the outside through Rascasse. Doesn't have anything quite yet. Oh, he's at an oversteer there. That was a whole lot of English that I didn't use. Oversteer on exit of Anthony Nogues. In towards Saint-Devat once more. Up the hill through Massenet. Does Jose Miguel have anything to look at here? So Loco, all he needs to do is pretty much follow the racing line, and he'll have himself a good spot. We're going to have the lapped car of Dead Text Message, perhaps, I don't want to say in the way, but he is taking that overtaking line perhaps away from Jose Miguel then. Of course, there's no room for him to go, but I'm sure Jose would have liked the inside line to perhaps make an overtake into that corner. Pork Chops here doing his best. Into the Neuville chicane. Jose Miguel, oh, he's gotten loose over the second one. Oh, that was unfortunate as Brian Mosser going in. Yes, he has. Okay, I thought we was looking at an incident perhaps there. Jose Miguel had gone heavy over the inside curve through the Neuville chicane. Somehow he's come out all right. Still 0.3 of a second. DRS activated here for the McLaren, but you could say the Red Bull's gotten better acceleration. In fact, that's what I would argue. As they head now into Saint-Devat, who gets better exit out of the first corner? Yet again, I think the Red Bull's got him beat on acceleration here, has to be said. Even though this position isn't necessarily for position at the end of the day. Still, oh, and I tell you what, I was going to say it was a brilliant battle. but it's all brilliantly gone to hell, it has to be said. And not only have they lost the spot, and I tell you what, Jose Miguel's picked up 5 seconds for the severe collision with Soy Loco there. I tell you what, that is a fair and just penalty, that one. I don't believe Jose's done anything wrong there on purpose. That one has certainly not gone well. And he's picked up the 5 seconds. Oh, that was such a brilliant battle as well, going on for so long, and then suddenly it all just went tumbling down. You hate to see it, you just do. Meanwhile, that puts Mediati up to the 5th spot. Remember, he's up 12 since the beginning of this race. That's an unbelievable statistic to be had there. 12 spots gained. Pork Chops within 4/10 on Call Me Maybe here. Pork Chops, I believe, a lap or two ago, picked up a time penalty. Here he comes. Tell you what, he almost wanted to have a look there through Sandoval. Didn't have the space. Up the hill through Beau Rivage. 0.2 of a second in through Massenet. Call Me Maybe defending well, but Pork is hungry. Pork wants this position for fun here. He's not going to lose anything to Peter, because not only does Peter have 3 seconds of penalty as well, he's also 45 seconds behind. So Pork's just going to want this one for fun. And I tell you what, say Call Me Maybe makes a mistake and goes off and picks up a 3-second of his own, that'll put him on level pegging, so Pork wants that spot. 0.2 of a second as they head into the Neuville chicane. Pork Chop's doing his best, trying to wind him down here. Up to half a second. With the blue flags for it's the Red Bull of K-Dog. I believe dead text message received another penalty. He's up to 17 seconds. Meanwhile, it looks as if perhaps as Ray made somewhat of a mistake. He's fallen back down 3 seconds outside of Alex for the 2nd spot. Pork Chop's doing his best. I tell you what, he looks hungry for the spot. He looks like he might have the ability to make it happen. Heading down into the hairpin now. Let's see what they have. Pork Chops goes deep into the corner. Call Me Maybe floats up high as you would with the understeer from being later on the brake. Through Portier they go. Pork has little to no battery remaining. He's trying to get the overtake done on the DRS straight, which, oh, by the way, not that long. It'd actually be more worthwhile to have DRS through the tunnel, but that's not the case. I'm actually incredibly surprised Pork Chops has used that much battery to not have any left. How much does Call Me Maybe have? Well, I tell you what, he's not got much either. But how is he not, like replenishing it? It does that in the braking zones. I tell you what, a fair bit of heavy braking zones on this circuit, if you haven't figured that out. DRS open for Pork. Down the pit straight he goes, looking for something on Call Me Maybe here, trying to find a way around. It hasn't happened yet. Noganator looking to claim his 2nd win of the season. Remember, that was week 1 in Saudi Arabia. Since then, your name's either been Jose Miguel, Johnny, Damon, Gravity, or Ray. Jose Miguel finds himself 6th. Ray finds himself 3rd. Oh, that's the Alfa Romeo. That's dead text message off again. And no, that wasn't the Noganator, but he's lost a bit of a front wing again. Yet again, having to do an 87-point turn here to get himself turned around. And that's not me making fun of him either. Seriously, that's just what you have to do. It's a very narrow circuit. You find yourself perpendicular like that, it's going to take some doing to get you unstuck. Still between Pork Chops and Call Me Maybe here, entering their 33rd lap of the Grand Prix. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's 32nd. I don't know. Porkchop's nearly had the look around the outside through Sandoval. I tell you what, he is right there against Call Me Maybe. Does he have anything going through Beau Rivage? Perhaps into Massenet. Looks for the inside. Oh, and I tell you what, he nearly had the look, but he ran out of real estate. Perhaps now, does he look for the break? Yes, he does! Gets into the side of the Mercedes. Side by side into the hairpin now. Still side by side, wheel to wheel as they go through the hairpin. Little bit of a love tap there from the Mercedes. I tell you what, I'm gonna be honest. I think if I was Pork, I'd give that spot back. Oh, but Call Me Maybe's hit the wall then. It was the move heading into turn 5 in question where Pork had made contact with the right side pod. As Jose Miguel picks up a penalty, 11 seconds he's up to. It was the move in question through turn 5. Where Porkchops had ran into the side pod of the Mercedes and arguably could have used that to his advantage to make the move happen. And then perhaps was there contact through the hairpin. Tough to tell, but I think I would have given that position back. Oh, Mediati's nearly lost the car there, but he's held on. Goodness me, that one was close. Into the hairpin they go. Mediati just kind of needs to hold on to the car here. Meanwhile, it's 0.3 of a second for the second spot. Ray and Alex battling it out here. 0.5 of a second and closing. Ray wants the long way around through the hairpin. Clever as it was, he's not really found anything to make it happen. Out of Portier they go. They have the Jose Miguel and Mediati battling ahead. At this moment in time, it is still Ray doing his best to try to find something to get past Alex here. Ray, a winner at Azerbaijan earlier in the season. Our Alex ahead is yet to win. Noganators won once in Saudi Arabia at the beginning of the season. Dead text message, 5-second penalty for crossing the pit lane exit white line. Not an ideal turn of events there for dead text message and that Alfa Romeo team in question. And an even worse day for Ferrari. They've both DNF'd in a time where they desperately need the points. .4 of a second here between Ray and Alex. Down into the hairpin. Noganator, I believe. He's only about 8.5 seconds ahead. I say only. Tell you what, you got to feel for Not Gravity here. I think he really had the opportunity to win the race today. And, I think, honestly, he had beaten Noganator off the line. Probably at the end of the day deserved that win. Well, here's Jose Miguel. I think he wanted to have a look at Mediati going up the hill through Beau Rivage. He's not had the space to make it happen. Mercedes there, it's Call Me... Oh, and look at this! Traffic jam here. As Call Me Maybe had spun the car in front of the two cars currently battling for the second spot of Alex and Ray. Yikes, that one has gone almost as wrong as it could have been. I'm hoping that Alex hasn't picked up any wing damage. Doesn't appear to the naked eye that he has. Goodness me, that one could have been absolutely terrible. But instead, it looks as if everything carries on all right at the moment. We do have the Alfa Romeo off at the bottom of the hill through Portier. Oh, goodness me! And I tell you what, Ray, well, he's hit the barrier quite hard then. Very similar to what Sergio Perez had done in the qualifying session last year. He's lost it in the middle of the corner as dead text message. Ray Ray's had to go the long way around and hit the outside Armco barrier on the exit of Portier. How has he not picked up wing damage? He hit that wall a ton. And now it's over a second behind to Alex. Goodness me, you hate seeing battles end like that, but that is how Monaco plays. Meanwhile, Jose Miguel's still trying to find something at Mediati here. Mediati looking to come home in a comfortable 5th position after the day he's had so far. Once again, let's take you through. Mediati up 12, Alex up 9, Pork Chops up 10. It's been a brilliant day for the Aston Martin team despite all that's happened to him. Only a couple laps to go still. We've got Noganator making his way through the tunnel now. It's going to be 2 laps to go for him this time by. Looks like Jose Miguel trying to hunt down Mediati ahead. It's less than a second between the two. Although I'm just not sure he's close enough to make it happen. Running out of time, that part's for sure. Noganator is going to be coming out of Anthony Nogues for the penultimate time today. Oh, sorry, that's not right, is it? No, it's not, because, yeah. It's not penultimate. Never mind. I'm trying to create words as we go, I'm afraid. K-Dog K, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for her, I'm afraid. Looks like the Alpine team is going to have a good day here. P3, P4. Pretty solid day for them, I'd say. Very impressed with Alex so far today. Oh, and I tell you what, Brian Mosser's gone off, and that's in the Neuville chicane. Not ideal there. Where is he? Lost it. Oh, it's coming off the corner. I tell you what, you got to be careful going through there. That's a blind exit of the corner. They may not see that car. Who's going through there now? Yep. Pork Chops and Call Me Maybe about to make his way through. Ray and Alex, and thankfully the wreckage has been cleared because that one could have been super detrimental. As it looks like we just had No Jug take the win in Division 1. Oh, well, Ray's hit the outside wall there going through Tabac. Jeez. Final lap of the race here for Noganator as he makes his way around the circuit to Monaco one final time. I don't want to necessarily say he's had this race handed to him, but that's certainly what it seems like. He had lost the lead on the opening lap, but the lead fell back into his lap once more. And he has not looked back since. Alex up 9 positions, Mediati up 12. Well, Noganator has certainly completed the task of being the one to make the least amount of mistakes. And through all the conundrums that has circulated the circuit today, Noganator has not been fazed. As he makes his way into Rascasse and Anthony Nogues for the final time, Noganator coming to the line now. He'll be picking up his 2nd win of the season. First in Saudi Arabia, and now in Monaco. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix here in Division 3. First time we've been here in 2 seasons, and Noganator gets it done. Alex, wonderful day he's had, has to be said. He comes home in 2nd, and deservedly so. Very well done from him. And, oh, I tell you what, what's happened there? Well, Ray's going to get the spot anyways to Sui at a penalty, but I tell you what, it looked like Ray had made a mistake out of the final corner. But the Alpines finishing 3 and 4, what a day for them. Mediati about to come home in 5th once he gets around the lap car of Peter DRH. What a day it has been for the Aston Martin team, despite all the drama and controversy they had found themselves in the Grand Prix. They come home to improve 12 spots for Mediati and 10 for Pork. But Noganator 38 taking the win here, very deservedly so. So after it's all said and done here in Monaco, it's Noganator taking the win from pole, Alex taking second, up 9 spots. It's Ray Ray in third, Sui in fourth, Mediati fifth, Soy Loco sixth, Jose Miguel seventh, it's Pork Chops in eighth, Colby Maybe ninth, Peter DRH in 10th, 11th, K-Dog, 12th, Brian Mosser, and unfortunately for everyone else behind, including Dead Text Message, Gravity, Racer X, Gonzalez, Jean Carlos, and Maxo, their day did not find the end across the finish line. And next week we head to Spain for another, I'm sure, very exciting round of Division 3 here. Hotspot, it's been a pleasure joining you on the call this week. We'll see you next time when we take on Barcelona. Whew. I'm beat. What a race.